Uh, eventually, I'll figure this part out. There we go. And all right.
Oh,
What happened to your camera?
I don't have OBS pulled up.
Oh,
Oh, we're going on camera?
yeah, you can if you want. You don't have to if you don't want to, but I mean, I'm on camera right now. And of course, got Don up as well. I feel like it's important.
All
Uh,
right, let me get mine set up then.
it's all good. Um,
Looks like we're live.
yeah, yeah. I'm
Oh,
just trying.
so let me turn this off. So I don't just blast the OBS screen everywhere.
And there's Jotty bright and early.
He did say he was going to show up because I told him about it, but I guess it was a little last minute for him, so he's just here in spirit, and of course in the audience too. But
We'll ping out my Discord, let everybody know where I'll be tonight.
appreciate that. Let me add a little update to this so that way I can actually I'll do it from my phone.
I don't know if it works without stream together, but sometimes you could actually tag people in the title. Crystal Dragons in there, McCoy's welcome in.
Yeah,
We
I
have
was
a
gonna
familiar stream team in here.
welcome in Crystal Dragon. Give me a sec, buddy. I'm sorry. I'm still trying to get all this. Go and yeah, it wasn't working the other way. So Ambly, how's it going? Welcome in. Yeah, so basically this whole thing here, like to give everyone a rundown. Still don't have a name for the podcast yet. We're still working on that. Mike is our other co-host. He will be here soon. I sent him the invite and let him know. We'll have more people in here to discuss this, but we do this once a month. I've kind of made it to where like the biggest thing to talk about, and of course Nintendo gave us the biggest thing to talk about for this point. And other times we just chill out, hang out or whatever. So happy to welcome in Don for the first time, and we just lost Logan, but we gained a mic. Welcome in, Mike.
What is up? What is up? I'm just getting set up here. I just got sat
It's
down.
all good. It's all good.
John, it's good to see you, buddy.
How are you?
Doing awesome, doing awesome. A little nervous, but doing awesome.
See, the first time I saw the Nintendo Direct thing, like I even knew that they were doing that, it was through Don's stream, and his stream was entertaining, but it was like the biggest thing in the start of it was there was no price drop, which was very unnerving. Hey, Logan.
Very, very unnerving.
Knock, are you live right now, or are we still in the pregame?
I am live right now. Set up. You can send me a knock through the, and I can accept it. I at least have a second screen now where I won't have to close this down for that. It looks like you're strangling your.
Just you.
Sounds like you're strangling your camera or looking.
It is, because I don't want the bright light just shining in people's eyes. Alright, so I gotta do something really quick, like 2 seconds, and then when I get back, I'm gonna start loading up my OBS, and then I'm gonna swap the cameras into the media room layout that I used for the last couple episodes.
Sure.
And I'm going to be recording a copy of this in 4K as well as streaming it live with the with you, Knock'em and guys, and I'll have it on Spotify probably by maybe Tuesday is when it'll be available on Spotify once we're done with this.
All right. We'll start with some easy stuff first. That way we can get that way. We'll deal with the hard stuff later after you're more set up. But like, Donna, what were you most excited about? Want to throw the question at you?
Oh boy. First question.
Yeah.
What I was most excited about for the Nintendo Direct, revealing Nintendo Switch 2.
Mm-hmm.
The next leg of the Nintendo Switch journey. The device has been around for 8 years now. I've had mine since day one. I've been waiting for this new version for a while. Just heads up, somebody's feedbacking, so check your volumes.
Is it?
I don't know. I'm just a little concerned. I was really excited going into it.
All right, Logan. Same question to you.
My friends and even at daycare and all that.
Hold
It's just one of those great party games.
1 second. For some reason, I'm not. Talk again. Keep going. I'm trying to see if I caught you.
Okay. As for the console itself, I am happy that it's getting a bigger screen. It's easier to attach the controllers. This is just me being a little nitpicky, but I already knew they weren't going to. Not going OLED right off the bat's probably just a price cut point. They wanted to keep it within a certain margin, and not going OLED would keep it at a cheaper range. Not going with the Hall Effect control sticks, though, that's concerning, because it's been confirmed it's not the exact same control sticks as the original Switch, but they're still not Hall Effect, so there's probably going to be a lot of stick drift still. And they're not cheap.
I mean, I've seen Hall Effect sticks, and I've installed them into the Joy Cons. They're really not that expensive, and yet the new Joy Cons are even more expensive now. When they do drop. Let's see, Discord output volume. Okay, let me see the. I'm still such a noob
Can
at
we
this.
project for a second about Air Riders? That did look very good. I was very surprised to see Sakurai working on that. I thought he'd be working on the next Smash Bros. By now. So that caught me as a bit of a surprise.
I really hope, for his own sanity, they're not going to throw him at another Smash clone, only because he has stated multiple times he does not want to go back to that.
Let me know how that sounds, guys. Yeah, Air Riders is what Logan was talking to me about. He seemed the most excited about that one too.
Yes, in terms of the games. In terms of the console itself, the price point of 450 and what they're asking for, honestly, I could see that being perfectly fine. It matches up
Again, where the
with the
echo's coming
Steam
from.
Deck and the ROG Ally pretty close. And in terms of the hardware, I don't think there's any issues in terms of the graphics card or display, other than, like I said, they probably will release an OLED version later on, like the Steam Deck has. But the price point of the video games, that I guess is the most controversial point, to be honest.
Yeah,
I don't
Go ahead.
think
Sorry.
the main argument being mentioned that they stated that the amount of time you put into a game dictates the price point you should put on it. Because that's not usually how it's done in development or marketing.
Yeah, replay value is more up to the customer, and if you really like it, and keep playing. I mean, GTA kind of proved that. Of course, every iteration of Mario Kart 8 proved that. Although I do agree with Don, I would like to see them bring back Double Dash.
Yep. And that GTA's made billions of dollars.
Yeah,
Those shark cards.
that thing was like as close to an MMO as it gets. For GTA that is, and who knows what the new one's gonna be like. That seems insane. Mike, you're really low.
Yeah, oh my god, it's a big difference.
Okay, he's probably still working on stuff.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I didn't realize I was unmuted. I was switching things. I apologize.
It's all right.
you're good.
Jason, what about you? Being that you're mostly PC or only PC, like how do you look at this?
I mean, I just look at it as I think Intel's overreaching a little bit. I guess I kind of look at it differently though because I still see Nintendo as kind of the junior console. Maybe I'll catch some hate for that. But that it was something I grew up with as a kid. Played Nintendo a lot, and I just kind of grew away from it. It's still a great console. I still play my Super Nintendo from time to time, but I just don't see. I don't see the same type of AAA titles that I do from the other major console manufacturers or PC. So I don't see why they're trying to price themselves the same way.
Got a comment from McCours. I think the reason they aren't doing Double Dash is to sell more copies of Mario Kart World to start out, which I can agree with, but it doesn't mean that we won't see Double Dash on maybe the GameCube emulation thing that they're doing. Because some of the games look really good on that, and I'm excited for Luigi's Mansion, even though I would have preferred a port, because I do have the DS port somewhere. So
To McCaw's point, I made a similar comment when I was streaming the direct. And I did take a glance. They had put up a little short of the Wind Waker GameCube Classic. I wouldn't be surprised if they're using DLSS to do the upscaling a little bit. It looked pretty clean for a GameCube game.
yeah, I was surprised too. I've been watching comparisons, and that's the one that's kind of gotten me the most. Like, whoa, it looks good, and I feel like a waste of $70 buying Chrissy the Wii U HD uh, remake when it was her birthday. So
If you need to flip it, it's doubled in price.
I'll keep that in mind. I ended up finding out I have like two of each Wii U game, and I don't remember buying two of those. So, okay. Now, the one thing that I'm also upset about with the Switch 2, why is it supposedly it's a $10 demo or a $30 demo? I don't know. I've been seeing.
It's confirmed at 10.
Okay, I'll hold you at that.
That was selfish on their part to do that.
Yeah, that's
Astrobot was that game room thing on PS5 was free.
yeah.
Yeah, it
Some
should not have been priced at all.
greed, pure
It's a
freaking
tech
greed.
demo.
Yeah. Which I feel like Jason is just laughing at that whole thing too. Good to see you, boss.
I fixed it.
Yeah. Mike, you still there? No, you're fine. You're fine. Are you able to lay down any opinion of yours? Move closer to the mic.
I'm half listening and I'm just trying to get my camera to work.
All right, all right.
Okay.
But yeah, like I don't know. The Astrobot won Game of the Year. The first, what, two Astrobots or whatever? Oh, we lost Don's picture. The first, what was it? PS4 and then PS5. Both were free, and then they came out with a full-on game, and that one won Game of the Year. And now I'm just thinking, what did Nintendo think it was? Oh, so now they charge for a demo. Now I guess it's safe for us to do it, and I think there was a whole misunderstanding there.
it didn't even look, I would say, in the brand of Nintendo, it looked more like Miiverse forced on us with the tech demos
Yeah,
pasted onto it.
I remember the Miiverse from the Wii U. Like, anytime Chrissy
Yep.
starts it up, it just looks like that with the little Mii's running around and whatnot. I'm gonna just say this. It's like if the Steam Deck didn't exist, I don't think Nintendo would have felt like they had to do this way. Because like me being a Steam Deck owner, I have a lot of fun with that. It's as close to PC as I'm ever gonna get. I don't care what any of you guys say. So,
Hey, laptop's pretty close.
uh, anywho, I still get a lot of good game time out of the Steam Deck. Yeah, there are some limitations on it, but I mean, I even have a SD card as a Switch just to mess with that. Nintendo doesn't like that.
Has Steam made any official comments about Switch 2? Because, Microsoft are frenemies or friends of Nintendo, and they were applauding them. Switch 2 certainly is going to give the Steam Deck platform, a run for its money now. As I think you
Yeah.
also said earlier with the ROG, which
Mhm.
supposedly is bringing out an Xbox branded handheld this year, so it should be interesting.
Let me see if I can find anything.
I don't know if they're targeting the same audience though. Nintendo has their very niche with more children and people that grew up on it, whereas Steam is catering more towards the PC community.
Yeah, definitely PC gaming. But what I've seen from Nintendo over the past few years, they're really doing everything they can to drop that it's for children thing. It's been 40 years now. They're a
Mhm.
well established company in the scene. They are unique in the sense that, they're one of the major players in the unique hardware slash software experience. And I mean, look, who the hell thought you'd play Bloodborne Successor on a Nintendo Switch or Nintendo platform?
I laughed
Albeit
so
that's coming out
hard.
next year.
Surprise.
That looks like that was something. That's from Soft exclusive on Nintendo platform.
Yeah,
That was
Sony
an
said.
impressive release announcement.
Yeah, Sony said no to the to Bloodborne 2. Nintendo said yes. So that's how I
I don't
looked
know
at
what
this.
Sony's thinking about half the time.
Honestly,
They're not.
no, they're not.
Precisely. Yep.
Are we really all coming in Nintendo themed even in our phones?
Hey, I've had this for years.
I'm not complaining. You're on a Star Destroyer. It's great. Jason, you just need the Enterprise or something.
I think I can do that.
I could match even better.
I still am impressed with Jesus's background. Yeah, are we looking at a ceiling with Mike? I can't tell.
Can I throw a quick question to the panel?
Sure, go ahead.
How many years of pre-ordering day one? Are
I'm
you
looking.
sold, or you still need to see more?
I'm looking at you, Logan, because I'm not pre-ordering. I'm waiting.
Repeat the question.
Are you fellas pre-ordering for day one release, or are you guys waiting it out?
That depends on what price they're going to finally announce. If it stays the same, which to my knowledge is 450 for the console and then 50 additional dollars for the bundled Mario Kart World, I would still pre-order it at that $500 price point.
Yeah, that seems the more logical thing, really.
Now,
Like-
if they bump it up,
Mhm.
it depends on how much. Like
Right.
maybe 50, 100, I could still consider it. If
That's like AAA price thing for a handheld.
I know,
But the
Mostly a handheld.
but the price itself to me doesn't like when the Vita came out. That was pretty exorbitant as well, but I still got it day one, and I still have it, and maybe only had to fix it once just because I had to replace the battery. That was about it, and it's still going pretty strong.
I sent you the knock.
All right, cool. I'll accept. I just saw it now.
How you doing, Terry? Good to see you, buddy.
Feel free to drop us any questions. Yeah, chat. If anybody has any questions or anything they heard that we haven't heard, please feel free and.
Get those opinions in there.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, for me, I would mostly get
Specifically,
it
you're
just for the
making,
GameCube.
Did it work?
That shit's hey. I'm getting
Is that a better background for everybody?
Yeah, that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh, beat me up, Scotty.
Wrong enterprise.
I was giving it all I've got.
Wouldn't it be more like engage
Make it so.
Make it so.
or make it so? Yeah.
Uh,
Well, he says both. Okay. Okay.
Pre-ordering any of the Switches, however, I'm a huge Pokemon fan when it comes to Switch games.
I've really thought about it, and
So the new release of the Pokemon games got you?
Yeah, that's why I have it. It was for every release that I have officially beaten everything. It's mostly the reason I come back.
No, I'm talking about Pokemon ZA.
I
That
don't
announced
know
one.
anything about ZA yet. This is actually the first I've heard about.
Mike, just a tad bit. Raise your volume just a bit for your mic, just a little bit.
Yeah, ZA is based on. I'm not a big Pokemon expert, but I did play a lot of Pokemon X as one of my quote first Pokemon games. So Lumiose City is the scenery. It's supposed to follow Pokemon Legends moniker, so it's going to be a little spin-off. The fun part is, I hear him pretty good.
Okay.
Sure it's
He's
not on
pretty
your end?
loud.
I don't know why. It's just it's not.
Not
Did you
sounding-
check his
Yeah,
Discord volume for you, Noctum?
My microphone's broken.
we can hear you just fine.
I hear you just fine.
It's probably just me. Probably just me.
We can hear him.
Okay.
I'm about to say I would get ZA mostly that like, hey, I got it. I'll let my nephew play it.
I feel like it's their answer to Power World because they're trying to change up the formula.
They're still
Yeah.
trying to get Power World from ever being existed. And it ain't
Boys are
working.
still working on that one.
Don, I thought I got a notification from you. Where'd it go?
Like I'm just mostly excited. Like, hey, I can finally play Gale of Darkness and Coliseum again without having to. Yeah, come
That's
in
true.
and have the emulation aspects.
Yep. And if you try to hunt down a physical copy, that's like a $300 game.
Funny thing is, I had both. Unfortunately, I had to sell both to make sure. Hey, I need power in my house.
Kind of hoping that they drop Eternal Darkness on the GameCube thing. I'd be happy with that.
The question that isn't being asked yet, with the added benefit they're tacking on to the Plus, how long are they going to keep the price then? Because and what technology are they using for the GameCube Classics? It's got to be some sort of streaming, right?
They said
Because
something.
GameCube games like 1.5 gigs.
I
They're
mean,
gonna just load that?
Normally,
isn't it
if
still
you have
emulation?
console-
They don't like using that word, but
No, what they're doing is like with the Nintendo 64 aspect of the Nintendo Switch Online.
hmm
So once you have that, do that yearly bundle type deal. So you should be good to go.
Don, you're.
Well,
are
that's
you not
that's what they're all
live right now?
going to, right?
There's some type of
Microsoft-
subscription.
Yeah,
No, not live.
Microsoft got it. PlayStation's got it. They're all going to some sort of monthly subscription plan because that's where they make their money. The console sales don't do it anymore.
no. Well,
It's those recurring charges.
and now now that you're paying for a separate chat function on the Switch, that is also dumb.
That I am completely against. Yeah, their little video and microphone enabled access.
That
Yeah.
thing.
That supposedly has been marked at $20 per month as a service,
Just to
which is
chat.
basically a discount Discord.
Wow.
I gotta redo the sharing. which is
Isn't Discord itself the discount because it's free?
No, because we actually get good quality. We get good quality audio, good quality video. If you saw those Nintendo Directs, it sounded like somebody was talking through a hallway in their microphone, and the video was choppy.
15 frames a second.
Oh.
Jesus.
Not to need you to
How can they not know that, though?
Gotcha.
I accidentally closed it out. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Intel, you said something?
Yeah, I was like, how can they not know that their quality is that poor? How can they expect people to actually subscribe to that when you have better alternatives that are cheaper or free? Doesn't make any sense. It's not a good business model.
It isn't.
I got
Well,
a
we never really
comment
said they
from
were smart.
Crystal Dragon. I have to admit, and this isn't a knock on Nintendo fans, I don't see how the Switch 2 is even coming close to 500 I spent on my Series X. In truth, the gaming experience is getting new.
Gwen.
I'm getting isn't nearly as heavy for me. It's not pulling the weight of the price it's asking.
Right. And that was kind of my point. It's not a big, knockdown console like an Xbox or a PlayStation.
Yeah,
It certainly doesn't come close to a PC in my opinion. But
No.
they're pricing themselves like they are one. And it just doesn't make sense. They've never been one of the big boys. If they want to be, then they need to go back to the days when they were making full
Actual
consoles
console
like
consoles?
GameCube,
Yeah.
Super NES, that sort of thing.
GameCube was the day, though.
yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. GameCube was good and underrated, and
Pikmin.
And I think to Don's point, they claim that they want to be taken seriously and they want to kind of distance themselves from being the console for kids. I think that's what they need to
Don.
do, right? They need to
Showing
come out
off.
with something that's real deal, that's hard hitting, and then they can pull some actual titles for.
I think Nintendo ended up shifting from that because they started getting more revenue from their DS than they did their actual home consoles, like the Wii.
Glenn, your camera's
Then-
not loading for me. It keeps.
Then they just need to accept it,
Oh, I
right?
know, I'm
And
working on it.
They're the console for
Okay,
kids,
dear.
and they need to run with that. Of course, they're going to have like hardcore people that grew up with it that play it, And I think that's one of the appeals of Nintendo is the fact that you can buy the system for your kids, and it's something that you don't mind playing with them if you're a parent, right?
Very true.
that is true.
And I think that's something that PlayStation and Xbox don't hit as much because they tend to be more of the adult themed games, and they're not
More adult
geared for
themed?
that.
I would say more of like mid-range to adult, like teen.
Yeah. But they're not like those
Riot
kind of
Maker
party games
is-
where you can sit down as a family and play, right? Where Nintendo tends to have a lot of those titles like Smash
Not
Brothers
them.
and stuff like that.
Riot Makers in here with a raid. Let's go.
Whoa,
25.
Freaking Clay.
A raid of 25? Wow.
yeah.
Welcome on, welcome
I'm a-
on.
There you go.
What was it? I'm gonna give him a shout out real quick. God damn.
Hey, Riot Maker. Welcome everybody to Knock.
How you doing, Riot?
There we go.
There's that lovely place. Welcome to all out. Great to have
Thank you everyone for showing up. We're all discussing the Nintendo Switch. So if anyone has any opinions or anything on it, are you pre-ordering day one, something, feel free to shoot us any questions and we'll talk about it accordingly.
Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong, but the Switch
No.
2 is not going to be. It's not going to be backwards compatible, correct?
Right back.
It's going to be backwards compatible to a point. I've shared that information around a bit, but according to someone on the dev team, that they are not using any Switch 1 hardware. It's all just Switch 2 stuff. So
Okay.
more Switch games are not going to be as compatible as we initially thought. And they've even hinted that it more than likely will be emulation as well. So
Okay.
that
So you
part's
still be
gonna
able to play a lot of the Switch games, the majority, but it's not as if it's running off the actual cartridge.
I think it's going to be
Okay.
similar to what the Xbox is, where some games were backwards compatible, but not all. And then, of course, they had to, if there was enough demand for it, they would put something on there, some update to allow certain games to play. Because there's some, like I have Predator Concrete Jungle or whatever on the original Xbox, and that does not play on the Series X or One. So
Yeah. Okay. Well, because when I heard about that, I thought, oh, well, great. That's Nintendo's way of saying, hey, you got to buy all your games again. And that was, yeah. And I was like, no.
well, let's see. I
But
got a
that's-
mess.
So that's good to know.
I got a
They
message
did try
from.
and
missed it,
push
I'm
for the
sorry.
upgrade.
There were Minecraft problems in the other room with the kids. I had to go run.
All good,
was-
all good.
I-
I got rated. Shout out to the
Yeah,
Riot
give me
Maker. Anyone who hasn't followed the Riot Maker, please do. By the way, he's a really good friend of the channel. Now, he did say the Switch 2 seems like it's a very heavily monetized console, and I'm not a huge fan of that. Which, again, we all agree on that. They're trying to nickel and dime everybody now with this shit. Like this again, the stupid voice chat. If they up the price of the expansion pass, I'm gonna be even more pissed because it's already exorbitant.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's just the way that the industry's going. Like, there's
Yeah.
so many games now that are nothing but microtransactions, and it's sad to see that the consoles and the major systems are following suit.
Zay AI,
Yeah,
what
my
are your
gamer
doubts that you
spending
have?
money.
List them for us so we can discuss.
Yeah, Fortnite has a lot of your money. I know.
I just can't get enough of those jams. I love making music.
And
But you can do that. What's that? Never mind.
look, there's just got to be smarter ways to be player friendly. I mean, look at Helldivers. That's I think one of my better examples because you can buy the game and then you just play, earn super credits, and put it towards any war bond that comes out. They don't strong arm you for that, and they've been pretty adamant about that. Even Sony is now
Right.
fully backing down from the PSN thing. They're not even trying with Helldivers anymore.
And I think that's the way that this should be, right? Like, give me an option. If I want to spend my own money to advance myself, great. But don't make it to where there's a core component of the game or I'm not going to get the same experience,
Hmm.
if I don't spend my money.
Shit, they
Because
should
I already
open up
bought the
their-
game.
they should
As
open
long
up
as
their
it's
IPs.
either cooperative or single player, you got to watch out for
Yeah,
pay to win models in competitive gaming.
Like I don't like
Yeah,
how the
well, in
people are.
competitive
Is that like
gaming,
Zai,
right?
Pronounced like Zai, like Zoltan.
Thanks, Goth Girl. Like I don't like how the people are handling their gaming consoles. I mean, none of the companies are really handling their consoles right now. Sony's already trying to move on to PS6, which I think is really stupid. And
Well, it was already
Yeah,
a great
but-
idea
and
to
Microsoft-
come with a 5 Pro and just double the price.
yeah, and then
take the
Microsoft
features, like-
is
Exactly.
trying it one more time with the console, but they're also trying to do a handheld as well. And now Sony's
who is handling
reevaluating
their
the
platform
handheld.
well, though?
What?
The original PSP,
Steam.
in my opinion, was a really good product if they would have stuck with it and just made it better instead of trying to do 3 other different ways to go about it and failed miserably.
The Vita to me was the one that really should not have been abandoned. I mean, like
I didn't like the Vita.
oh
I
that
didn't have a Vita. I had a PSP Slim. That was the shit.
I have the
Yeah.
Vita and the Vita TV, and I hacked my Vita TV. That thing was pretty easy to hack, and
I missed that on that. That was an easy
So-
hack indeed.
honestly, that it's still going pretty strong. I saw a picture at a football game and where everyone's holding their cell phones up. One guy's holding their Vita to record. So the
Nothing bad
Vita's
as seeing
still
somebody holding
hanging
up an
on.
iPod. As bad as somebody holding up an iPod.
I mean, yeah, sure. um,
I was never really an iPod person.
I hate Apple products.
Listen, I hate I hate Apple products as much as the next person. But
My-
I had an iPod back.
my other thing is why
When it was
no
first released-
Mario launch title? Why don't we get a
Right.
Mario launch title?
Yeah.
Not
It,
an Apple
it
fan.
basically had a hold on
Oh.
the MP3 market for music players.
It really
Yeah.
did because Zune tried. All right, I'm
They
getting you
did.
guys off topic. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It happens.
Mario's.
But like I said, and I agree with Don too. Like, why no Mario launch title? Like Don was upset.
Did you see? Did you see? I clipped it. I was so
I
upset.
I was there for
I had
that
to go
part.
off camera.
Yeah,
Go off camera.
it was so.
I'll say.
I have a lot of love for
Mario
Mario. So I just I feel it's so disrespectful. Like I'm glad that Donkey Kong got his own private title again, but come on.
I don't. Donkey Kong should be that. Why?
Because they went back to the original Donkey Kong design.
Okay, so I get to throw barrels in 4K.
You
I-
wouldn't want to?
Sure, why not?
It's DK Odyssey. That's what it is.
Basically.
Look at Mario Odyssey 2.
DK Odyssey,
Oh,
it's
I did like Mario.
it's DK Breath of the Wild, DK Tears of the Kingdom, because it's underground. I swear what was it? The Godzilla Kong movies inspired the setting for this.
Yeah.
The only thing I could speculate.
What's
I'm
that,
gonna
Don?
Backlash on this one. I don't really care for the new Zelda games. Tears in Breath of the Wild, they were not fun to me.
What didn't you
So-
like about them?
Logan.
Hello, you have you get the Master Sword. The thing is, should be unbreakable, first and foremost.
Power was always within you.
I will agree. The whole your weapons break system was very annoying.
Thank you.
That turned me off a lot. I didn't even finish Breath of the Wild.
Hmm.
Eventually, I will.
The lack of dungeons.
Yeah.
Dungeons
Not gonna lie,
were-
personally, anything past Ocarina of Time, I did not like.
Twilight Princess was
anything
badass.
after
I'm
Twilight
sorry.
Princess
I love
was
Twilight Princess.
just-
And Noctum, follow up to your statement before about no Mario game.
Yeah, yeah.
I can only speculate. April 2026, what's coming out? The new movie.
Yes.
So maybe they'll
The
do
live action?
tie-in. Yep, April
a
2026.
tie-in move. A tie-in.
Sorry.
That.
So that'll be almost a year from the launch of Switch 2. So then maybe that's when you drop Mario.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know.
That could
That'd be good
coincide,
because,
and
like,
I mean, they could
yeah.
do a movie version of the game, and
That's what I'm thinking. Imagine they flip the script and now it's a movie version of a Mario game. That'd be crazy.
that would be
Aren't they doing
crazy.
a second?
I
But
mean,
then
yeah,
I'm gonna be
that's
hearing
right.
Chris Pratt's wahoos and yahoos, and
Yeah, right?
so under.
Aw.
I would be so
Chris
underwhelmed.
Pratt.
It would make me depressed.
Charles Martinet.
God.
Blue Star?
I have a-
You gonna be the little blue star?
Don't disparage Star Lord.
There is no escape, only the eternal pain of entrapment.
Oh God, that thing.
That little
Yeah.
bastard.
They were gonna make
Time. Oh, we're gonna
Donkey Kong talk. Don't get me wrong. Seth Rogen is good, but he should not be Donkey Kong.
I know. He's in everything, and it's
As long as Bowser is Jack Black in the game, I approve. He's got a good
You
voice.
like Jack Black as Bowser? I don't like Jack Black.
You didn't
I
like
thought
him?
Jack Black was great as
No.
Bowser. He kind of
I
scared
can
me a
agree
bit.
with that. I didn't like the super. Bowser never seemed like the musically inclined beforehand.
I mean, he could have. I mean, what do you think? Probably.
I don't know. It's just
I mean, what do you think he could have done? He could have done between the whole time of, hey, your prince is in the wrong castle. He's out
Seriously.
back there making music.
He's out there serenading Peach.
hmm
Give me an acoustic guitar. Let me sing about how sad I am about how she be in another castle. Let me tell you.
that was always so annoying
Let me
though,
sing a song
where
on how I gave a princess Stockholm syndrome. There we go.
people were complaining, saying that Bowser was being so cringe, pining for her, and I'm like, the bad guy being the bad guy, pining for the. That's
His
not
whole
cringe. That's
shtick
the
was
whole thing.
kidnapping
That's.
Princess Peach.
Let's
I'm
see.
gonna say this, and
I
I'm
had
gonna
an
get a lot
iPad
of hate
Nano,
for
but it was a
this,
gift.
but
I love.
Jack Black was a horrible Bowser. However, Jim Carrey was an amazing robot.
Yeah, he is. All three movies, he's
And I'll
awesome.
say, I've honestly I like both of them as the characters they played.
You would.
Bite.
Crystal Dragon said, I had an iPad Nano, but it was a gift. I loved it at the time because having 500 songs instead of an album is pretty sweet. Not sure why, but Zelda has never grabbed me. Truth and truth is, we
No
can't
love
expect
is
Charles to be
True
Mario
story.
forever. The man, yes, but that's the one thing that I'm like. I can say that about a lot of other things too, where I can agree. Yeah, he's human. He's getting old. We were gonna get a replacement regardless. It's the same thing with Bruce Campbell as Ash Williams. He can't do that guy for either. It's eventually we got to accept the replacements,
I
and
don't have to accept shit.
or there's that.
Charles Martinet, baby.
Yeah, I am. There is no other Vader besides James Earl Jones. Now that he's
Okay, no, I
gone,
disagree with that.
He
I
sold
disagree
his
with that.
voice to Disney.
I disagree with her.
Like
Yeah, he's got that
like,
agreement.
James Earl Jones did the contract, whatever. He sold his to make sure that the voice we hear is always going to be his now. So
oh
it-
really?
yeah, it's all. It may be done by an AI,
Oh.
but he made
That's
sure
what I
it's
was-
his.
You will always
I was just about to say, you guys act like the voice actors will be anything but AI in 10 years anyway.
Oh,
Oh.
dude, I've been talking to some of them about it. They're not happy.
That's
That will be gone.
They're not happy. My friends Richard,
Oh, Intel,
Ellen.
that's depressing.
What's
I
depressing?
love
You'll
your
never know
shirt
the difference.
today, Intel. You look really nice, sir.
Hey, thanks, man. I'm a mess. I was mowing the yard.
Captain Be Snazzy.
So you and Don were doing yard work today.
Sleeveless T-shirt that says "Employee of the Month."
They
I'm doing
jokingly
laundry
said
like crazy today.
What was that, Don?
Hey, I'm finally finished with all my laundry.
they've
Okay,
jokingly said the streamers will be all AI in 10 years too. So we gotta be
Oh
careful.
God.
Yeah.
I'm AI right now. I'm AI right now. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not like that. This is AI. It just takes a lot of programming and a lot of keyboard work. Which I'm behind the AI.
All
Okay,
these
so
quote unquote.
so in other words, you're
VTubers.
Vox.
I mean, one of my co-hosts is a robot
Get my
head,
teeth into that.
so
Is it recent?
So, quick question to the panel before we asked everybody if they're in on day one, and very mixed results and everything. So if you're Nintendo, and the Switch right now has 150 million unit install base, how do you convert half of that to Switch 2 within 2 years? Because the pricing is not helping. The innovation,
it isn't.
it's not a revolution. It's just a an
Just a
incremental
minor
upgrade. It's going to be a tough sell. And what scares
Yeah.
me, if anybody's been tracking this history of Nintendo, Nintendo has a loss, and then a win, then a loss, then a win, then a loss.
Yep.
Super
Tiger.
Nintendo was a hit. GameCube was a
Windows.
flop. Wii knocked it out of the park. Wii U, WTF
Went down
happened.
to hell.
we.
Switch,
Why
brought
would
it
you-
back.
Switch.
But the Wii U suffered like Sega because everyone thought it was an attachment, like the
Yep,
32X.
and that was bad PR. That
Or
was
yeah,
bad marketing.
that was
So
all bad on
Nintendo-
them.
Is on the under the gun right now to promote Switch 2 to show you how much different it's going to be than Switch 1, and it's not. So it
Almost.
scares me.
For me, I'm mostly just like, hey, I have Joy-Cons that fit my big ass hands.
I have a question about the controllers. Like, you might have said it before I made it in here, but does anybody else think that like it was very lazy just to come up with the exact same controller design, just that I can snap them in instead of sliding them out?
I mean,
Well, that was one of my questions. Like, what's the revelation with Switch 2? What separates it from Switch
Okay.
1?
they apparently have
One
mouse
of them
control
is the way
functionality
the
on that
Joy-Cons
now.
Slide, and they slide and they lock. Okay, that makes perfect sense. But if there's a certain point of bringing them up, putting them back,
Someone's gonna
pressing
snap it
the
off.
it loses the integrity of it holding in place.
Yeah, it does.
And therefore, once it loses the integrity of holding in place, you really can't
Snap it back
play
in.
handheld. Well,
Can't play as a
snap back in.
handheld, right?
You play it as a handheld, yeah.
Yeah, you can play it as a handheld, but
Sure, the dock would still work, but
well, yeah, the back will still work, but at the same time, you can't play handheld because it ain't sitting in place.
Yeah, because they could get demagnetized, right? At some point.
At some point, yeah.
They could,
yeah,
yes,
right about
unless
that too, yeah.
unless there's a little lock feature with it to make it to where
and they're
hey,
saying that plastic
you
tab.
unlock it to demagnetize.
Yep.
Fuck,
And then
I don't
there's
know.
like a little tab that makes the connection to the unit, and they're saying kids could probably break it. So it may be even more fragile than the original Joy-Con.
Another thing
That's
that
not gonna be good at all.
another thing that I want to add, and it's more going back to the games, it's not even the prices anymore. Like, yeah, $80, $90,
Yeah, well, no, they fucked up on that.
but the most fucked up part is that even with the cartridge, there's no game in there. It's just a key. That's it.
Right?
Like you,
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I
literally
do-
just
like the nostalgia of the collecting of having the physical copy appeals to me. And there are gonna be others out there who are gonna be like, well, better back in the day when we had the physical box, we bought the collector's edition, and we had a bigger case or a metal casing for a CD. I was always one of the type that's
Like, I'm
for
still
the-
I'm still collecting
Yeah, you
physical
were.
games.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean, realistically, that's the way the industry's going. Like, it costs more to
Everything's
make a
going
physical
digital.
copy. It's going to be more
Yeah.
expensive. I mean, you got Steam and other systems within the PC world, like the Epic launcher and all that kind of stuff. You don't buy physical copies of games
I
anymore,
was going digital before.
and the
a lot of
consoles are
people
going to go that way too.
Yeah, and
Like,
But the
nobody's
difference
going
is
to have physical
Steam's-
copies.
Steam's got a good reputation going, as in when you buy from them, you know that's going to be in your library forever.
Yep.
With other systems, like even with Nintendo, it was mentioned that there's very limitations on what you can do with the virtual copy. Like if I wanted to loan it to my child, I have to do a specific type of like transfer, and then I don't own it or I can't use it for a certain period of time until that
30
expires.
days or something, or 14 days or something. they
Mhm.
do or something like
well,
that.
apparently,
Whereas
so,
Steam, anyone can just use my library.
well, one guy said that that I read an article that he's apparently terminal, and that he wants to leave his Steam library to his kids so they can still play it after he's gone. And according to Steam, when he goes, he can't just transfer that over. which I think is stupid.
Right. Ah! Thurston! Oh my god!
Couldn't somebody else just take over his Steam account though?
I was gonna say
Apparently
they
they
just log in
don't.
with his credentials.
That's what I'm saying.
You know,
That's like, how would they know?
Everyone's
But they say,
taking
no, you
the-
can't do that. And I'm like, yeah, sure, we're gonna follow that rule.
Well,
I was
just
about to
just
say,
write down
because-
the email and password, and you're good to go.
Well, we have a friend that unfortunately passed away last summer, and his wife uses his Steam account now. I mean, I mean,
the
how
only
are they?
difference there
How are
is
they going
that-
to tell? I mean, they can't. They're not exactly asking for ID.
Well, you don't get the gamer tag, I guess, is the big thing, right? If his
I
kids already
guess.
have their gamer tag that they like, they don't want to use their dad's.
They
But you can change
I can
that.
see that.
They can
Oh,
change
you
it.
You can change
yeah.
it on Steam free of charge. It's not like PlayStation or Xbox. You have to pay $5, $6, $7 for it.
Now, for the next generation that's eventually going to be coming out, if Sony and specifically Xbox, if they don't do what Don Matrick did for the Xbox One, the best thing they can do, sure, the price for the next console is going to be crazy. We already know that's going to happen. But if they keep the game prices at least not where Nintendo's
To
trying
where
to
they
go,
are.
they would essentially beat the shit out of Nintendo in that regard. Like, it would
I think
incentivize.
I think the
it.
next thing that Microsoft does in the next 10 to 20 years is they try to purchase Valve. They're going to acquire
Yeah.
Valve, and then they're just going to integrate Valve into their Xbox platform, and you'll basically just
Oh.
have a mini PC.
I mean, the funny thing is,
Yeah.
They're already
technically-
doing cross compatibility. It's
Yeah.
the first step.
Yeah, they're doing cross
I think
compatibility,
it's a great idea.
and
I was
find
saying
it
that
funny
20 years
people
ago
think
they should
that
have bought them.
PC.
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
a lot of stuff on PC runs off Windows, and what's Windows from?
Mm-hmm.
Microsoft.
Well, that's the thing is Microsoft has the monopoly. Right?
Yes.
They have everything from front to back. The
So,
only thing that they need is the games, and they own a handful of game studios as well. So
Let's see.
Yeah, because Xbox, they're going multi-platform. It already happened. Console, web, and third-party devices. That's where they're going. Console will still be there until it's unprofitable. But yeah, you're going to see Xbox on every platform less than 5 years from now.
Yep.
Killerman 9927
3 years.
says,
they're giving.
yeah, they
look,
said
they're
something
letting
about making
Sony
most games have a
get
code
their
now.
main
Instead of Xbox, no
IPs.
game. I hate it because of COD. Makes us have to have internet to play. I mean, everything's subscription based now. I'm glad Steam's
that's
not
not
like
going
that.
anywhere.
It's still gonna stay. Yeah. They're still gonna require you
But-
to do it.
If Microsoft buys Valve, then we're screwed.
I don't understand the concept of requiring an internet access on a mobile device. Because you can't always stay connected to, say, Wi-Fi when you're traveling.
yeah,
By
I
the time they release the Switch 2, everybody's gonna have Starlink. Don't worry about it.
unless I was gonna say, unless they have a mobile chip built into the Switch 2 in future generations.
they tried
Like the
doing that
way-
with the Vita, and that wasn't so great.
That's the
No.
way to pay the X amount per gig with hotspot. You're SOL.
Yeah, and Starlink ain't so friendly with a lot. Like Isaac, I mean, I guess he figured it out, but he couldn't play Helldivers with us because Starlink just was not letting him connect to anybody. He had to jump on his hotspot just so he could play Helldivers. That was ridiculous.
Well, the thing with Starlink is it's satellite based, so you're gonna have latency. There's an inherent amount of latency that you can't overcome.
Ooh, I need that.
And a lot of games are very sensitive to that, especially like first person shooter cooperative games.
Yeah,
And I think that's one of the big things is that there's probably a latency check built into that online play that it just doesn't pass with
Dragon
Starlink.
Ball Sparking Zero fighting game I play has a latency in real time. And like let's say I'm in the green and it shows him start to go orange or red, the game actually slows down in frames itself and our moves start becoming slow motion until his latency picks back up or my latency picks back up. So we're literally like, oh, I hit a punch 7 times. I just did the first contact.
Hmm.
let's
Makes
see.
up
What
for
else
it,
can
but
we
it's
talk
annoying.
about? What else?
Yeah, that would be annoying.
Trying to fight Terry forever, he don't listen. Yeah, I'm talking about you. I see you down there turn your head all slowly, elevator like. Just been waiting for him to say.
I'm sorry. I'm
66.
just over here minding my own business.
Just execute Order 66. No, nothing else at all.
No, not that. I am doing a 2-in-1 randomizer. Why? Because I hate my fucking life.
Oh, stop it.
Did you guys hear that the pre-orders for the Switch 2 in the UK sold out?
I
Really?
did not.
Mhm.
How did they sell out though?
They only said 500 units over there.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying
No, I'm just- I don't know,
they're reopening up the pre-orders here in Canada on the 8th of May.
Have you seen the scalpers already? $800 on eBay.
Yes.
For
Oh my
So
God.
ridiculous.
Yep. Have you seen the grassroots effort they're doing?
No, what?
They got
Um,
like this little online group that's going around reporting all the scalpers on eBay getting the listings taken down.
I didn't know they were doing
Trying to
that.
combat that. Yeah.
Good. Good.
Wait a minute. So Canada's getting pre-orders May 8th?
Yeah, the US and Canada are getting on May 8th.
They're still trying to blame the tariffs
They
for
were
that
gonna have-
shit.
Because they were going to have them 3 days ago here.
Yeah, man. I was ready for that.
I was until, well, hey, guess what? Shit happens. I don't have the money anymore.
Look, I'm wait. Like I said, for me, I'm waiting. I can wait because you never know what kind of shit's gonna end up happening
Oh,
with, like, who knows? The thing might catch fire. Still remember my buddy's Xbox 360 that caught fire. So after that, I'm like, you know what? I can wait. I can
That was
wait.
happening a lot.
So
The 3 Ring of Death with the 360.
Oh, the red
Yeah.
ring. of death. How
Yeah.
I-
I had Red Ring of Death.
Oh my god, I lost count how many times.
yeah, I fixed that mess too. But like I said, I don't know. Yeah, it seems like a powerful console, but I want to wait. Chrissy doesn't want me to wait, but I'm a fucking wait. Andy's
Doesn't
horror
want you to
show
wait.
says Mike.
Andy, hey, what's up, man? I ain't seen you in a long time. How you doing?
Again, open
streaming
questions for chat as well. If there's anything that we haven't heard, lay it on us.
Yeah. Let's see.
Logan, what else have you researched on it?
Honestly, there's so much that I keep forgetting about it. Give me a topic to discuss and I'll probably think about something tangent to it.
Hmm.
I do have some exciting news. No, you're not streaming. What's your exciting news, bud?
Trying to think what else. I have some stuff.
Let me
Do you
look
think
up
June
here.
5th will still be the launch date, or are they going to push it back?
That
They
could
said
be
they're
pushed.
not, but
Maybe. Because what was it? They extended the tariff delay for 90 days so they could reopen it up, but they didn't open them back up yet. So Nintendo's waiting for something. And then that happens, will the price go up?
They're also they're halting the tariffs for 90 days besides for China, which they're increasing it to 145%.
Yeah.
For China.
so North America
We gotta
is
keep
getting
it on
less.
China. I know China is a great guy. We got a great guy. Got tariffs on the guy. You know, we got China.
So North America has less than 30 days to pre-order this thing. It's basically. where we're
Basically.
at.
But Don, are you still pre-ordering
Chaos.
day one?
I would like to. I foresee being disappointed already.
Yeah.
Like I said
Andy,
earlier-
I do remember Jared. Oh, you're buying his motorcycle, dude. That sounds great, man. And also, he says hello to everyone.
How's it going?
Hi,
So,
Andy.
yo, what's up? And you know what I said earlier in my opening question / introduction. I got a long-standing relationship with Nintendo. I'm going back almost 40 years. To see
Yeah.
this happen, you know, this is heartbreaking. Because
Yep.
I'm really fearing I ain't getting one day one. And I've been waiting for this one for
What's
8
up,
years.
Rox?
Yeah, I mean, like the
Nintendo
Switch,
pulls off a miracle.
the Switch 2, like it's like the direct wasn't so horrible. It just like I said, there was a few things they got wrong. Of course, I'm excited for Metroid, excited for the GameCube portion because I already do pay for the
It's really awesome, Andy.
expansion pass, which I don't think it's bad. I get to show my kids some of the older games that they were never around for. So
That's
Yeah,
the main thing
Nintendo's-
I use mine for is all the nostalgic games.
Hey, Captain.
I know,
The Switch has always been very powerful with its flagship titles, Zelda, Mario, Metroid. You can never go wrong with
Hey,
playing
Lux.
those games. It's the matter of how
Absolutely.
you're gonna play those games now.
I'm hoping to pre-order day one as well. The extra performance boost will help with games like Pokemon Scarlet, Violet, and run smoothly.
Yep, those two are getting free updates.
Oh yeah, that's probably the only thing that's gonna be free because like the rumor of the upgrade prices are like $15-$20 for the upgrade, which I think is ridiculous if that turns out to be true. For the
I was
if you-
told it was $10 for certain titles,
that's what
and it
I'm
can
saying
be up to 20.
for certain. So that's just ridiculous. And then Tears of the Kingdom, like a straight Switch 2 cartridge, that's $80 now instead of what it was before. So
But
About $60.
are you aware what they're
extended
doing?
that.
what's that?
When they sell those enhanced editions at retail, what they're doing is they're throwing in the original Switch cartridge and then a download code for the upgrade.
That is
So you're not getting a legitimate Switch 2 copy.
that is
Correct.
shitty.
So, I'm not a big reseller of video games. I got a backlog the last 5 lifetimes. But if you ever go to resell that, it's not a Switch 2 game. It's a Switch game. And it's going to drop in value over time.
That's ridiculous. Wow.
That's why they want to lock you into digital only. This way you can't really sell it.
And what happens when you decide to
Well, and
trade it in?
That's part of it, right?
If you
And
trade
then
it
when you
in,
try to trade it in, you get less and less and less. This is the strategy for every game company.
it's ridiculous that we got to pay for
Well, that's
updates.
because the
I
console
agree.
manufacturers and the game companies don't like the secondhand market. They want you to buy it
Not
at
one bit.
retail.
You're right. Yep.
They don't want
Yep.
you to go out and buy a used copy that somebody beat and then sold for half price, right?
That's what
They want
don't
you to
make a
buy it
dime off
full
of it.
price from them.
That's
Yeah.
what Xbox One was supposed to do when Don Matrick announced it. It was the always online thing, which they're still trying to push that kind of bullshit to this day. And then there was the fact that if you loaned your game to a friend, you had to pay a $2 fee to loan the game out to a
I
friend.
remember that.
Yeah, and then
That's
Dumbest thing
ridiculous.
and then the $1 fee to trade your game in. Such bullshit. And like that motherfucker left Xbox after a month because it just didn't work. They walked back what he tried to do, and the latest interview I saw him in, he tried to blame his team for it, even though he was the one in the interview saying all this shit. So it's Don Matrick all over again. Now it's Nintendo because they're even saying the same thing. If you can't afford the Switch 2, we got another console for you. It's the Switch
They
1.
did that shit. That was terrible.
That was
That's Xbox
that's
One all
the
over again.
biggest middle finger I ever saw to the consumer. That's like such bullshit.
Yeah, I was very lucky with Xbox and what they call it now, their Game Pass. It used to be Xbox Gold.
Mhm.
The man below me on my camera setup here, the man below me down there in his Imperial Star Destroyer. For the last 10 or so years, longer than that, I have my Xbox. Every Xbox I've ever owned has been his home Xbox. So I've had his as long as he stayed gold, I was gold.
You're
As long as
welcome.
he had
Stay
Game
golden,
Pass, I
pony
had
boy.
Game Pass.
Harry, you're
get
welcome.
One, and you get one every time, and you
I'm
get
just
one
saying,
every
his
time.
whole lifetime has stayed in Golden Pony Boy only because of you, Terry.
You're welcome.
Crystal Dragon says, aside from playing games with Don's community and NSO games, I don't use my Switch for anything else. That's why I can't see spending the price they want for it. What they are adding with the Switch 2 doesn't justify it for me, especially on $100 a month fixed Social Security income. By that, I mean $100 in spending money. Yeah, I understand that. I agree.
Yeah.
Like, not everybody
I'm
can
just
just.
looking forward to getting this back.
Which one's that one?
What is
The-
that?
It's a
That's the
GameCube controller.
Yes,
Oh,
I still have
this is-
mine they get released for the Switch.
Hold
I
on.
This
know
is-
you
this
people
is
still
not-
living in
this is not-
1991. What's going
This
on?
is, this
Hey.
is an actual authentic
I don't have it in
PlayStation
arm's
2.
reach. I still got my Wavebird.
Oh my god, Intel, bring me back to the 27th century, man. What are they doing?
I went from I went from NES to Xbox 360. I didn't
Dude,
have
do I need
any
to-
of the ones in between.
Do I need to go find my Virtual Boy?
I think you would look ridiculous with it.
because I would.
Oh no, they got the Don. They got the Don. We're alone now, guys. That's it. We're all
And then
alone.
these are my Joy Cons for my Switch.
Because I
What
would.
about
share.
Ori?
They look like game good controllers.
I don't think anybody wants to see me just bash my head in every time I fuck up.
And that's what my
Nobody wants to
Okay,
see
that's
that.
cool.
See, that was nice. Nintendo could have designed something like that.
they could have
That's
done
the
something
Ori,
like
right?
this. This is a third party thing, and it works fucking great. Like
See, I never had any interest in hooking one up
it's-
to the TV, so I just bought a lot.
it's really
and
sad.
it's like a big Game Boy, basically.
It's really sad that third party people actually do controllers better than Nintendo. I even use one, like one of the small ones here, from Cracked, and they don't even like those guys.
I like that. That's awesome.
So
You know, that's a good question. You just said the word Switch Lite. You think
Yeah.
Nintendo's got that in their back pocket for people who don't want to shell out all that money?
they're more than
And
likely
be
gonna
forced
have
the handhold only.
they're gonna have that, but they
Yeah,
want to
you can use
get
it.
those early units
But-
sold first before they do the
I was
light
gonna
version.
say, there's no
That's for
no
people-
no wait 6 months to put it out there, but I guarantee you they have it.
Yeah, I mean, I was never interested in hooking my Switch up to my TV.
Pa-
So
Part of
when
their
the
whole
light came out, that's what I did. And I know that's part of the appeal of it, but I've always been a
switch it
Game
off.
Boy person, and I think I tried it once and I didn't like it. So
Thank
so I
you,
got a
Roman.
Switch Lite when it came out.
Actually,
I
I
mean,
can't.
Nintendo really rolled the dice going the hybrid route. It was a success, but it's big shoes to fill to build on that success. And I'm sorry for sounding like a broken record, but what's ensuing right now with this pre-order fiasco, it's not a good start.
Yeah.
Don,
So
you're
there's going to be some consequences, short term and long term, with this.
you're one of the bigger representatives for Nintendo, in my opinion, and like your opinion holds weight when it comes to that shit. That's the reason why I'm glad you're here. Same thing with Logan. Like me and Logan, we've been talking about this for the last couple of weeks ever since it announced. He was like, "It's happening. Nintendo Switch is." I'm like, "Okay, I guess I'll watch it."
Character is.
And he's going crazy, and I'm like, being very curmudgeon about it.
I don't have names.
So, actually, I can't complain about my Switch at all. I like the Switch, and it was a gift from Steph. So clearly, Crystal Dragon got infiltrated by Nintendo. They killed him and replaced him with a Nintendo bot. So
He had consent. Don't worry about it. He had consent.
I missed that last part. What?
because he was like, I don't justify. He's like, I don't really use my Switch earlier. Then he's like, flips it to, actually, I can't complain about my Switch. It's like, that's a 180. So Nintendo killed him.
I gotta accept the
Well, you got to
responsibility for that.
Oh.
I convinced him to join the Switch family.
Yeah, Nintendo
I have
probably
such an
watches
influence on
and
people.
they're like,
You have an influence on a lot, Don. Even on me, and I barely know you, but man, do I be honored around you, man.
Appreciate that.
oh yeah, I've shared your channel around to everybody. I mean, Jason, when what was it? Watched your well, I think it was affiliate anniversary that passed already. Was
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah, that was
I
pretty
popped in
cool.
there secretly.
So,
I'm
But-
dropping pickles in your chat door now. that I think
but
about
when
it.
it comes to Nintendo, anything like, I always discuss it with Don, or if I hear something, I'll throw it his way and see if he knows anything or whatever. It's either that or Ubisoft. I mean, Don has a beef with Ubisoft as well, and that's a whole other can of
How
worms.
do you say that?
Who doesn't have a beef with
He's
Ubisoft?
Andy,
I
thank you
always-
for coming by. He's got to head out, going to meet some homies for drinks. Y'all have a nice night. Andy, I really appreciate you coming by, man. Good luck on saving up for that motorcycle.
See ya,
Ryan
Andy.
had a really nice bike, so that'd be
All
a
I'm
good,
saying is I
bike
didn't
for you
lose
to buy.
money at all, so the fun I'm getting from the Switch is free. Switch 2 is
I
a
always
problem for
say
me. I get you,
Ubisoft.
Crystal. I get it.
I'm not sure of the
Ubi.
pronunciation. Ubi.
I'm with Don.
Yeah,
Ubi.
I say Ubi.
I say
Ubisoft.
Ubi.
Ubi.
I've said Ubi my whole existence. So
Ubi sounds inappropriate, bro.
if you put a B in front of it, maybe.
Yeah.
The
I mean,
Ubisoft. Nah, you did.
when it comes to Ubisoft, you could have a whole story for another day about that.
Yeah.
I'm a big Division player, Division 2. We got an active
Yeah,
plan. There's DLC coming out in June with the new season.
I'm actually
Looking
glad that that's
forward to that.
still going strong. Crystal does have me as a friend on Xbox now, so I'm
He's
working
gonna
on
get
that.
you in the clan when he got time.
Yeah.
We got one on PC and Xbox right now.
That's cool.
Division 2, huh?
Yeah, and like
Oh, I
Don
do not
says,
have
there's
that.
no friendly fire in there, so it doesn't have to worry about anybody killing each other, like certain
Damn.
people in Helldivers who shall not be named.
Yeah, when I play.
That's okay. The Suck Me Squad will continue our reign of terror in another game.
100%.
Speaking of, we haven't played Marvel Rivals in a minute.
Yeah, everybody abandoned it. I don't know what happened. I'm still
We didn't
playing it.
abandon it. It's just Midnight
I
Murder
found a
Club
player.
ended up kind of that took over because Isaac loves playing the fuck out of it as well.
Yeah,
So
because I'm always like, hey, Noct, tapping on my keyboard, like, hey, Noct, you guys up for some Rivals tonight? We usually do it tonight. Oh, sorry, I'm in Murder. Midnight.
either
Sucks.
that
No
or
problem.
D&D, and we've been running some D&D campaigns as well, and we haven't done that in a while. That's kind of what's taking up a lot of our time too.
I so miss doing our D&D, Glenn.
You still do the
I know.
D&D streams?
We ran a couple, and they got a little bit better because I added new microphones, and the first one was a little bad, but when I got the microphones, everyone agreed that it turned out a whole lot better. So
Yeah.
that
Hit up
was really
Crystal
fun.
Dragon. He's big on the D&D as well. I'm still trying to
Nice.
learn it.
For a DM, if anybody's interested, I need
Nice.
a DM to help my guys.
You said you were gonna. You said you were
I
gonna do
don't
it.
have the confidence, Glenn. I can't do it.
Yeah,
Well-
you so can.
Well, Don, I know is going to be like he got a key for Midnight Murder Club, so I'm actually excited to play that with him too.
We're going to try that soon. Try to get a collab going with Noctum.
And
Listen, I would
I'm
love
just gonna warn
to
everybody:
with you again.
Jason is a completely different player in that he's violent. He curses way more,
Violent.
especially at me.
That game brings out my inner psychopath. I can't help it.
Yeah. Listen, he turned me into a demonic Elmo the last time we were playing.
Oh God.
It's so fun though.
Do you think they're gonna up the price of the expansion pass because they added
Probably.
GameCube?
What's it at right now?
They're probably going to nickel and dime everything. Oh, this was +5, +10. Probably are going to recoup losses. I mean, if they were really serious about expanding, in maybe 3 or 4 years, double day one sales of the Switch 2, they're going to have to take a loss on something.
Yeah.
You can't come out of left field, say $450 base, $500 for the bundle, and due to circumstances globally, oh, we're going to add $50 to each. They got to take an L. If they want to make, listen, they sold over 1 billion software units on the Switch 2. That's money. They're making money off the software. The hardware is always a loss leader, usually.
The software is where you make the money. That's
Exactly.
what you do. Your recurring costs, and they always sell the consoles at a loss. And I don't understand why Nintendo's suddenly trying to jack the price up on this. They can't be that expensive to put together. So they have to have a pretty solid markup on it.
Like
I don't understand that mentality of them. Are they hurting that bad that they need to make that much money off of it and risk losing that many customers?
I mean, it's like they're not even looking at the past of like the 3DO or the Panasonic or those things were uberly expensive and failed because nobody wanted to pay that much for something so ridiculous.
Nintendo is 100% leveraging their core audience right now. Those hardcore Nintendo fans
Yes, they are.
that are dedicated to the Mario titles, the Metroid, the Zeldas, all of those Nintendo specific titles, right? And that's what they're banking on, are going to buy this. And it's going to work. And that's the shitty part because everybody is loyal to them and that encourages them to keep doing it. They're going to lose a lot of people in the process.
They're going to use
Sorry about that,
FOMO
Crystal.
and supply constraints.
Absolutely.
It's going to sell out North America day one.
Oh, it will.
Guaranteed.
And it wouldn't surprise me if them pushing back the pre-orders is a tactic as part of that. To generate some panic and get people saying, oh my God, I have to pre-order now because, if they're having issues already, there's a chance I might not get it. And like you said, the FOMO kicks in at that.
Yeah. Fear of
It
missing
sounds like
out
a
just
repeat of,
completely
the
takes
Xbox
over.
One and Series X all over again.
I-
It was kind of like that.
I remember, the
remember
Wii.
that.
I remember my dad kept dragging me
Oh, the Wii was a
around
nightmare to
different
do.
Walmarts just to find a fucking Wii. And then I remember hearing on the news people getting attacked in the parking lot just for buying a Wii.
What?
Logan,
I
you
see it
don't get
online.
it. You're like you're in freaking Fantasyland with Kirby, where the rest of us have seen some shit. Like
Yeah.
I got
Jesus.
Wii on day one, no issue, so I wasn't aware of this shortage.
good
Oh,
good
no,
job
Chip
that that didn't happen to you
real.
guys.
I
So
was outside of a Target back in New Jersey when I lived out there, and it was the re-release, and I literally watched a man get stabbed.
Oh,
And
Jesus.
yeah, well, the person bought two. They wanted a third. He got a third and happened to be the last one. He offered him money. The guy said no. He didn't like that answer.
Wow.
yeah,
How
the
it went. Yeah, it was nuts.
but that
Right
kind of shit
outside
is
of
what
Target.
why Nintendo decided, okay, we're not going to do, because it was a strategy on Nintendo's part to pretend that there was a shortage. There really wasn't. They just kept releasing them in small increments, where a truck would have 10 or 5, and that's all. And then people would be fighting over them. I've seen GameStops where they're kicking the crap out of each other. It was like a fight club at GameStop. It was
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Typical Walmart Black Friday stay pretty much every day.
it was worse than Black Friday, I think, because people were going
No,
nuts over the fucking
I
Wii.
remember that shit. People waiting in line for over 24 hours, 36
Uh-huh.
hours, sitting out in front of GameStop in tents.
My dad
camping
brought a
chairs and all that kind
fucking
of stuff.
chair. He brought chairs for us to sit in. I'm like, Dad, I like the game, but I'm not that crazy. Why do you
Yeah,
want it?
no.
So got me.
Yeah, when we bought Steve's PS5, they took it out and they loaded it into our trunk and like was like, "Shh, be careful going out," because they were afraid somebody was gonna see it and like try to jack us for it. Yeah, I mean that's just nuts. I don't understand.
The worst thing I saw with PlayStation 4, and it wasn't that bad, but this was like more scam wise, where the PS4 wasn't keeping up with the supply, and people that were selling stuff like on Craigslist, one woman got scammed where she had the money in her hand. He took the money, threw her the box, opened the box, it was towels.
Oh wow,
What a scummy thing to do.
Yeah.
Terry.
Look, I'm with him. I'm gonna laugh because I wouldn't trust any asshole selling me a console on Craigslist.
I
So-
would have
Absolutely
done it if my life depended on it.
It's like you're asking to get like Facebook Marketplace is like my last resort to go, because I go like Amazon, eBay, Facebook Marketplace, and I haven't been screwed over in Facebook Marketplace, but I keep it on the very like low end.
You settle down. I love Facebook Marketplace.
You tell him to settle down.
We'll never agree on stuff. Anytime I say something
You
like
settle
he
down
still
now, bro. You
he's-
settle down now.
he still won't let me live it down that I have no idea what a fucking hash brown casserole thing is, whatever the fuck that is.
Yeah, hash brown.
Oh my
casserole.
god, I swear.
You settle the fuck down.
Like a Cracker
That-
Barrel hash brown casserole?
Like he doesn't know what hash brown casserole in general is.
Intel, you
Oh.
tell him. Settle the fuck down. You let him know now. Now I know.
Settle the
It's
fuck
wrong.
down.
Settle the fuck down.
Hey Brandon. Oh wait, that
Who
wasn't
the
Brandon.
fuck doesn't know about a hash brown casserole? They're amazing. Especially if you make it with some maple syrup. Oh, lovely.
Maple syrup.
Maple syrup. Oh yeah, maple. But you gotta get it. You gotta get it from Canada though. You gotta go to Canada.
And this guy claims to be a southerner.
I live. Listen here, Mister. Okay, I live in the South. I'm from New Jersey. I'm an East Coast.
You
Yankee,
do not. Oh my gosh, let's not start
Whatever
this
the hell they
again.
call me.
I'll say
You do
Oklahoma, but I
not-
can consider
You do
Oklahoma
not live in the South.
I'm not having this argument with
I
you.
thought
again.
Chrissy settled this and said Oklahoma is in the South.
It
Yeah,
is not.
It's not the South.
It is.
It's
We did.
Midwest.
We proved it on the map.
No,
It's
no.
Midwest.
It's the plains.
The
It's
Great
in
Plains.
the
Yeah.
song.
You want me to bring her in here and
then
settle
go
it
sweeping
again?
through the South. It goes sweeping through the plains. You're in the plains.
Oh, okay, so what you're telling me is okay. So the mountains and the plains and the oceans determine the geographical locations of places, is what you're telling me. So because Oklahoma has plains,
Hey,
I'm
Witch.
not allowed to be in the South.
Which, are you excited for the Switch too? Like I said, anybody in chat, please feel free to let us know. Let's see. Wait a minute. What did Crystal Dragon just say? Snooze. I'm snoozing ads. I had our family friend that has the same car as my aunt go with me when we got my Series X. We stopped and swapped in between cars 4 times going home like it was government VIP to make sure we got home. So, yeah, I heard about that too.
Yeah.
Again, it's
It's
like
actually
the
great.
crazy stories
That's crazy.
where you're trying to buy a Logan. It's like you're an innocent child learning that murder is real.
Well, to be fair, I have had
To be
pretty much
fair.
every single Nintendo console, oh, except for the Switch. I delayed that one, but day one since the N64. I
Made
even
me
grew
think
up
about-
on the original Nintendo and Super Nintendo that my father had.
What a very Disney
you had the
background you
8-bit?
have.
Yeah.
Your original Nintendo that your father had.
The one that's
Yes.
probably holding up. The one that's
Well, here's the
holding up
thing.
must be like an old.
Oh,
Don't feel too old, Gwen.
I feel
I'm
so
old.
old.
Hey, the funny thing is that my father put the original Super Mario Bros. In my hand at 3 years old and made me play that.
Which says I am, but at the same time I'm not. Yeah, that's basically a lot of us. But of course, the Godfather of Twitch. I'm more on his side of things. Logan is
Nice.
more. He's probably still gonna pre-order it. The damn psycho. So
Yours is a little brown.
As long as they're not gonna like church me an arm and a leg, they go above like 600, 700. No, I'll let that pass.
I feel like Nintendo will find a way.
I'm talking about feeling old. I just turned 39. Like what, 2-3 weeks ago.
See, you and
And I was
Logan
we
bother
were
me
at
because you
Lowe's.
don't look like that. And Logan, I kept thinking he's in his 20s, and he's like, no, I'm.
Nope.
I keep thinking he's 16. I'm like, this kid's underage. Watch your mouth, Curry.
Wow, you think I'm that young?
War.
See what I'm talking about. We
You
get
were-
a beat button.
I thought you were mid-20s, like
Uh,
late to mid-20s. Yeah.
I'm
I was
actually
at
turning
Lowe's the other-
35.
Dude, I was at
Wow.
Lowe's the other day, and this kid, right? The kid who sold us the washer and dryer, told me, because it was my daughter's birthday, she just turned 21, and he told me he just turned 21, and then when he took my ID, he said, "Wow, you're the same birthday as my dad," and I'm like, "Now hold on a minute here, buddy."
Uh oh.
So
What-
apparently, I'm the same age as his dad, and he is the same age as my daughter.
Wouldn't that be?
there you
For,
go.
Phone number on the back of the receipt, and then it became completely awkward.
oh yeah, and then suddenly you find out he's your long lost kid, and it's like, what the hell?
Like, nah, I don't know you. I'm going for milk. I'll be back later.
You went out for milk and cigarette back.
Yeah, I'm more and more getting the, oh, you're the same age as my mom. I'm like, really? I'm not that old. Well, I say I'm not that old. Some of my high school friends have grandchildren now. So, yeah,
Whoa.
Take it as a
That's-
compliment,
Wow.
man.
that's awkward. That's
Shit,
awkward.
what's awkward is that one of my best friends has 5 kids, and he's not much older than I am.
Who?
Brandon.
I was gonna say not Sean Cobbler. Fucking Sean.
No.
I know about that dealing with 5 kids thing.
Popping
Dating a
them-
girlfriend who
I'm
has him.
3 here. So yeah, I know.
He was popping them out like a gumball machine, man.
No children.
I'm not saying
Which
my nephew
What
was-
games are you looking forward to for the Switch too? And anybody else have any worries about the Switch 2? Personally, I feel like the mouse function is gonna fall apart. Like,
That's
there's
a
no
given.
way that's gonna be functional after a while with
That
all the.
whole-
No
the
way.
whole
With how-
camera, microphone aspect, that's just gonna flop.
I agree, only because I've seen what they did when they released the Wii and how really bad it was at sensing motion. I feel like that's gonna have a lot of jank with the motion control and the mouse.
Well, I already told you. I feel like the Switch gotten a lot better than what the Wii was, because the Wii actually had a stupid bar. This doesn't have one, and I never had any real issue
Oh,
with
yeah.
that. Although I did see a trailer for a new mouse that splits into what looks like Joy-Cons, and I'm like, okay, is this a thing now where mice are gonna double as Joy-Cons on PC? Like, what the hell is happening now?
Oh God, I hope not.
If I say push comes to shove, they might do.
Motion control has never been anything other than a gimmick.
I know, and I have to show you guys the trailer. Like it looks so fucking weird because it's like the mouse itself is like concaved in just so it fits the joysticks and the buttons, but it's like the fact that it splits in half. I'm like, okay, so the Switch 2 revealed their shit, and now suddenly other companies are like, hey, let's show off our stuff now. It's like, come on.
Maybe the Switch 2 Pro will have better mouse controls. Who knows?
Maybe. But that's because they're.
Although, you know
Go
what they
ahead.
said, and
What?
a lot of people said this. To fully take advantage of the mouse, they got to bring back Mario Paint from the SNES, like a remastered version or something. That would be hot.
That would
That
be
would be
something.
amazing.
Because
So many
the
songs
the
have-
Super Nintendo mouse didn't suck. It was actually pretty good. But yeah, I feel like it's just because now they're trying to get into more competitive shooters or whatever. I mean, like I did enjoy Splatoon.
They already almost officially confirmed Rivals is coming to Switch 2. So that game is pretty popular right now.
I can take a quick second. Yeah. Give me a sec, guys. Oh, by the way, babe, Oklahoma, is that still the South?
Oh,
No,
Never mind.
it's
Somehow
all
I
Alabama.
clearly got
Alabama.
Medella affected. Last time she said South. Now she's saying Midwest. And I got. I must. That's probably why I had a fucking headache from hell this morning because I fell through some portal and landed in what I thought was my bed. This is a whole other world now. Fuck.
alternate reality.
That's what I'm thinking now. But it's not that different. Logan's still obsessed with Nintendo.
Today they got an official creators program now.
What'd they drop?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Wait,
but isn't those requirements like insanely high to get in to be accepted?
Well, they didn't publish any requirements, so remains to be seen.
Did we lose somebody or?
Somebody looks
Yeah,
like
Logan.
dropped.
Oh, okay.
That's because I decided to do laundry.
Oh.
Like, ain't none of y'all seeing me with these kinds of colors.
There's nothing raunchy here. It'd just be boring unless you want to see me fold clothes.
About to say,
You'd be surprised what people enjoy watching the stream.
Somebody out there.
Didn't
somewhere
didn't
has a
Macaulay
smooth play game,
Culkin
nothing but
get like
laundry
50
folding.
million views for just eating pizza?
I say I'm surprised there's
Yeah.
not a laundry folding simulator as a
Oh,
video game.
God.
Oh, I'm
They
sure
have
that's coming
simulators
Oh,
for
yeah.
everything else.
It's called productivity. Thank you,
Speaking of
Witch.
that, the woman above me here, Gwen, loves
Oh.
spending her time on that.
Thank you,
Power
Shadow,
Wash
for the
simulator
follow.
all the
Appreciate
time.
you.
Yeah, Power Wash Simulator. That's a good
What's wrong with
example.
Power
Hey,
Wash?
Power Wash Simulator is actually pretty fun.
That's my go-to when I'm like watching TV, and I just want to be doing something while I'm watching TV.
Power
So I have a
Wash.
question.
that's
Back to
what it-
Nintendo Talk. When Pokemon Arceus came out, anybody here who's actually tried that one? It was when they attempted to come into a first-person like RPG Kakarot kind of style game. I didn't like it. I thought it was horrible. I thought it was very badly made. You crafted Pokeballs made out of wood and shit. Yeah, I thought
It
it was
gave
bad.
me. I played a little bit of it. I'm not the biggest Pokemon trainer yet. I'm still learning. I kind of liked it. It kind of gave me like an MMO vibe. Like you got to get 5 of these, craft 3 of these. But yeah, it was a little different from the mainline Pokemon formula.
And I'll say it was sort of main line, but at the same time not, because it was its own. Back in the past, my knee hurts so fucking bad.
Take some Tylenol, man. Eat a banana.
Already took 2.
But that sounded like a Fortnite showcase, sir.
Oh, hey, Don, did you see that Pauline might be in the new Donkey Kong?
I would hope
Hold
she
on,
is.
They showed
What to say here?
they showed cover art that got leaked, and then eventually it got changed, and it showed like either Pauline or her daughter, because she looks way younger, like a kid, but the appearance looks just like Pauline.
Okay, so cameo back to the original.
That's what I'm thinking, because like where Donkey Kong is shows him like he's falling towards wherever center of the earth kind of shit he's going to, like it's like she hitched a ride with him or something.
Huh.
So, because they gave Donkey Kong his own Navi, but it's a walking rock.
Are you kidding me? His
Yeah,
little, like
like-
companion.
A companion that's basically Navi, but it's a rock. So
It's a pet rock.
That
Hey,
they
Crystal,
could have
can
done
you
better.
elaborate on what you're
Tip
talking
Roman.
about?
All right. So what Crystal said is, at this point, wait, did you guys just read this?
no,
Yeah, I read it. I was wondering if you could elaborate.
Okay. At this point, my biggest worries are companies doing things that push me away from Twitch or gaming with people that I've met through Twitch. It's a creeping worry that Twitch and the friends I have met out here are family now. I don't want to be forced out because of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to
Yeah.
elaborate on that. Chip Bowman, thank you for the heart. It's awesome to see you, Ship.
good to see you, Shipro Man. Shipro Man, do you have an opinion on the Switch too? And while we wait, if he does respond to that,
I'd love
uh,
to see Ship Bro play some Switch. He don't have a Switch.
he doesn't have a Switch.
I think what Crystal Dragon's trying to say is that he's getting priced out of the scene, right?
Yeah, because not everybody
Where
can
he
keep.
basically
More and more
can't
people are going to
join
move
people.
up. Yeah, they're going to move into Switch 2. They're going to start playing those games, and people that can't afford or just don't want to spend
Oh,
that
you
much
get
money on
bonus.
a
Yeah.
console,
No, I
Gotcha.
agree with that.
not relevant anymore. So you can't play with those content creators that you want to, or the content that you create, if you are a content creator, is suddenly less relevant.
Yeah, I agree
From
with
my
that.
perspective, borrowing from what Crystal Dragon's trying, saying from his perspective, I see a mixed result for my community. If you guys don't know, I stream Mario Kart every Monday. It's going to fragment the community a little bit, especially if there's not a lot of day oneers. What also concerns me, and this hasn't been said at all, there's an upgrade edition to Mario Party Jamboree, which launched in October, and we started streaming that from the minute it went live. Now, if I proceed to upgrade to an enhanced edition, do I lose my user base who plays the normal edition? Because you're going from Switch 2 to Switch 1, and I think I would lose access.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
wouldn't
if
it be
you,
an,
if you upgrade
right?
the game and you're playing a
Mhm.
Switch 1 title on Switch 2, is that still going to be compatible with people that are still playing on Switch 1?
That technically should, but there's a $20 paid feature upgrade where you get more features for Mario Party.
told you it's
But
20
if I'm
bucks?
hosting the
Mm.
games and I'm on Switch 2 with the enhanced edition, a Switch 1 player is going to be able to play with me. Obviously, I don't think they'd get access to the features I get But is there incompatibility? That hasn't been mentioned yet.
And that's
That's a
going to
real
be a
deal breaker for
rocky
me right
thing
there.
right there.
That
That's
hasn't.
that part's going to be really, yeah. That's also shitty because people are going to be again missing out on that, and like Crystal Dragon, not everybody's going to be able to afford that. I mean, one of my favorite things is to like show people some obscure titles and stuff, but I don't want to like. I wouldn't do something like that where I would get something like a Switch 2, and it's like I could afford it probably, and then it's like someone else can't, and they can't participate, they can't join in on you're really
Right.
leaving a lot
And
of
then-
people out.
And that's a
So-
great fear of mine. Am I going to lose community members? Because if I have a Switch 2 and they can't play with me, I will go find somebody else who's still streaming Mario Kart 8. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because somebody's not going to want
That's the
to
last
stick
thing I would
around for
ever want to
that.
do because I've based my whole streaming journey on community games, camaraderie, and everybody playing together. And this is a major upgrade to the platform, and yeah, I'm a little cautiously optimistic about that. That may not pan out well for me. We'll see.
For example, the fact that my Xbox gave me my avenue to streaming was be better.
I'm just trying to think.
Yeah, I get that. I get that, Crystal. Really, I really get that. And
Do you? Do you get it?
Keep playing games.
Yep. I get it. And
Sure.
shut up.
Yeah, Crystal Dragon doesn't have a
I just wanna
PS5, right?
Make sure you get it, Gwen. That's all. I just want to make sure.
Don, Crystal Dragon does not
Oh,
have a
that-
PS5, right? Strictly Xbox.
No, he's Team Xbox, and he does raise a very good concern. But in his scenario, he's utilizing technology that enables him to stream from Xbox and put together a full-fledged Twitch stream with overlays and stuff. So as long as that company continues to support the trends, his worries should be lessened. But if he was to talk to you offline, there's a major feature that company is not looking towards, and that is a hindrance.
Mhm.
They're not implementing Discord chat over Lightstream, and that is a big no-no. You need Discord. And he's working with communicating with the developers, and they're like, "Oh, we're looking into it. We're working on it. Got to work a little faster." That's the standard for any kind of communication. in gaming.
Discord has definitely been like when they implemented it on PlayStation. The fact that I was able to talk to other people that I normally couldn't before, that was a great thing. Like if there's a certain game I'm going to play, and it's cross-play, and some of you are on PC, some of you are on console, I have that function there. It's not perfect, but I mean, it still works.
You knocked. You know, you're like the only reason I have my PS5, pretty much.
I thought you got it because somebody just gave it to you.
Oh, I
And
bought
just
that thing.
You say Discord's
to-
not
what do you
perfect,
call
but
it?
it's way better than most of the in-game VoIP systems that I've seen and used.
Yeah, that is
Agreed.
And just to
Sounds
show
like the
you,
old 360
I don't want to say
mic and
narrow-mindedness, but the one-track mind of Nintendo. They could have easily said Discord is going to be the solution for that chat and sell them the camera. But what did they do? A proprietary setup. There are third-party cameras made by Hori that are going to work. And they already dropped a little Easter egg that it's going to be free until March 2026. And I just learned tonight, you guys heard about the $20 additional pricing.
Yep.
That's a tough pill to
I don't think-
swallow.
I mean, I'll always be on Twitch on some level because Don knows I'm with him ride or die, which is same the whole way. I just worry because I love doing this. My heart is in being with all of you. Crystal, we love you, and I'll be there whenever I can. You know that. You know.
Yeah.
You'll always have our support. But I agree with you. Yeah, it's not even just fear of being left out. It's
You ain't
fear of
going
being
anywhere, CD. You're good.
fear of being left behind, and I understand that. I don't think anyone really uses in-game voice chats on games. They more so use programs like Discord, at least as far as I. Well, that's kind of true because some games like Midnight Murder Club require you to use the in-game voice chat, and it's actually really fucking good. So, just saying.
Phasmophobia is another example.
It's like the same with like Revo, Lethal Company.
Yeah,
Mhm.
games that take benefit from using proximity chat. Yeah.
Proximity chat's such a good feature. I love it, especially if they have your voice react to the background, like echoes and all that stuff. That stuff gets actually pretty sick. So But yeah, Nintendo is getting a little too greedy with all this stuff right now. I'm a little, I said, a little more than just upset by it. It they shouldn't be doing this kind of crap. I mean, they're already ridiculous with the fact that
Yeah,
e-
it's been
every
really bad.
every console generation they've never lowered their prices for any reason at all, and with the explanation being is that they know people are going to buy it regardless. That's why I always tell Chrissy,
Yep.
Nintendo games are like an annual buy for me. Whenever I get tax return, I always set aside a few games I know I'm going to get, because after that I don't buy any of them. I just wait. So
You wait
Yeah,
to find them on
because
sale.
Nintendo's adopted a lot of the practices that's made Apple very successful. Create a
And
product
totally
people
fucking-
want, charge whatever the F you want for it, and they'll buy it anyway.
yeah,
Yep.
And the quality for Apple products is never.
it always makes me
It's
think
the
of that
same.
asshole from Jurassic Park that got ate by the T-Rex in the toilet, where he's like, "We'll charge them 5,000 a day, 10,000 a day, and people will pay it."
Yeah.
Jesus.
Wow.
You supply it and they demand it, and you charge whatever the hell you want for it.
Nintendo still hasn't really worked
Boys
with
all
you
from
yet,
America.
Don, right? Like, which I think is a shame if they haven't.
What was
I
that?
just wanted to-
Like, has Nintendo ever worked with you, like, in any partner program, or no?
Nintendo's program is like the mafia. You don't call them, they call you.
True.
We're trying to go through a few channels to see if we get a conversation.
I hope
And again,
something. That'd be
I
kind of
am
cool.
very biased, but I think I was very subjective today with my thoughts.
Yeah, but I still would say,
Not
even
totally
with your
biased.
thoughts, I
But-
feel like a good bit of communication from them would be like, "Hey, you stream the Nintendo Switch 2 for us, blah blah blah," something, like,
Right, because there is something. It's called the Nintendo Ambassador Program.
mhm.
There's actually some prominent YouTubers that used to be in it because they wanted to stream the port of Legend of Zelda to the PC.
Yeah,
They got thrown out of it. So it seems to be a very exclusive club. I've checked out a few of them, and not many of them, not any of them that I've checked out have been there from day one.
Don, you didn't.
So
have to
I
do
have
it.
I have brand recognition. I know the product. I've been playing with it for 40 years. So I hope that one day I could have a conversation with Nintendo, and I'll continually support them in their endeavors. But I'm not going to turn a deaf ear to the community when they don't like something Nintendo's doing. We'll have a conversation amongst the community about it. That's all. That's why we're here today doing this.
Yeah. And Don, thank you for the bits, by the way. And Crystal Dragon says, "Believe me, I appreciate the support. These are concerns I don't hear talked of often, but that's why I never want to stay quiet about how my life changed the night I started on Twitch." Which, hey, that's a lot of us. I mean, I was always on and off Twitch and didn't get anywhere. And then my buddy Jaddy showed me how to do that. And then I started learning from other streamers such as Don, Turk, Mike.
Hey,
Every I've learned from
I
every
learned a lot
different
from Turk, too.
Twitch streamer. And yeah, definitely gotta get Turk in on it because he has his own podcast.
He's online right now.
He's
I
what?
met Turk.
Turk's
my
in
first
here?
week on
Turk, dude?
Twitch. First week on Twitch 4 years ago.
That's awesome.
That's how long we've known
amazing
Turk.
How we've all that you guys have stuck together like this.
That's how I met
long.
Noctum. I met Noctum in Turk's stream one night.
Yeah.
I'm like, this dude's cool.
That is awesome.
And funny enough, Jaddy was the one telling me about you after I had met you, and he's like, "Have you seen this one Nintendo streamer?" And he described you, but did not mention you by name. And I'm like, "Are you talking about Don Polion?" And he's like, "Yeah. How do you know? I already got acquainted. I already know who he is, and he's pretty freaking cool." So, and just went from there.
That sounds like the head of a mafia boss.
I mean, that's basically how I see him. He's the godfather of Twitch.
Yeah, Turk gave me that name too.
It sticks.
All right,
Okay,
nobody's
okay, you need
nobody's
to
first
start
Don
to send-
story will match up to mine. I met Don the night I crushed him with my hell pod.
I am still sad I
Oh, good
didn't
old hell
quite
divers.
get that recording. All I got was the scream and the laughter. So
Not to stir up a hornet's nest, but if that game was published by Xbox Game Studio, it'd be on every platform right now. Just saying.
Absolutely.
look,
Virus says he's going to be
And
shout
in
it
every
to
country.
the
Every
fucking
country.
heavens, because
Fucking Sony.
Sony's being but the thing is, Arrowhead actually really did try to reach out to other companies to get Helldivers multi-platform, and everyone else said no. So Sony said yes for that, but now it's because it's so popular, Sony don't want to let it go. So
Yeah, and those other companies are probably regretting that choice too, because
I call it
believe,
the-
like Tom said, if
I call it the
it
Demon
hadn't
Souls
been on
effect.
Sony, it would be way more popular than it is.
The reason
they
why I
probably
call it the
publish it
Demon
very
Souls
well.
effect is because Sony they did agree to put Demon Souls on the PS3, but they didn't want to publish the game themselves, so that's when Atlas came in and did it. And Demon Souls was a surprise hit for them. So that when Sony approached what was it, FromSoft, to make a sequel, FromSoft said no because they said no. So they made Dark Souls, made that multi-platform, made a killing, and that's when Bloodborne came about. But now, again, Sony's got their head up their ass. They said no to Bloodborne 2, and it's the same shit again now, but with Nintendo with the Duskbloods.
Yep.
It's like nobody's learning from their past mistakes here. It's insane that keeps happening.
And they're porting Elden Ring for launch day.
Yeah, exactly. They're doing that, and FromSoft is making a killing. I mean, Sony is trying like hell to own them, but they're also trying to remain independent because
I thought they did.
Tencent wants to buy FromSoft. Japan doesn't want to let Tencent buy because it's a Chinese company, and they don't want the Chinese owning a Japanese company. So there's a lot of friction there.
Absolutely.
And yeah, like we'll see what happens with the Duskbloods. The Duskbloods is probably gonna make Sony rethink. Okay, maybe let's do a remaster of Bloodborne, and it's like we wanted part 2, you dumbasses. It's like, come on. And that's what I thought
but
it was.
how many good games has Sony had over the years that they've just let die?
A lot.
As a
I
business.
have a whole freaking
Killzone is
collection.
one I know I've heard about a lot.
Like
I think the Metal Gear series, is that still going?
that is still going.
They just brought it back.
But
Did they finally?
But the thing is, Sony, yeah, Sony really fucked up, and really, I think what it was is how they handled 4. So, because 4 came out, and that was more of a cinematic game that happened to have some gameplay in it. That was all. Whoa, what just? Oh, Don.
We must act now, before even more planets fall.
Gentlemen, this is Democracy Manifest.
But yeah, Sony, like I said, they're not immune to this kind of shit, but they're gonna eventually take advantage of what's happening with Nintendo right now. I mean, they've been doing that since the beginning, like when they first announced the price of the first PlayStation with the $299 mic drop. Logan, you should look that up. It's kind of badass. So,
I'm trying to think of a few other series that Sony pretty much just let die, and they somewhat trying to bring back.
on the PS2, they had a bunch. Like the game Primal came out, and to me, that one was a little ahead of its time. It was doing a lot more of like what the story cinematic games that we have today. But Primal on the PS2, that was great. That one, good adventure, good cast, and they just, I don't know, they did nothing with that. Because they left it open for a sequel, and again, like I said, the most now is that you can just download it on PS5 through the PS4 backwards compatibility, and that's about it. SOCOM apparently is coming back after Sony let that one die.
That was actually really good.
Yeah, because the company that developed Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City, they're the ones that kind of killed SOCOM. They made one of the worst ones at the time, and I don't know. They tried to bring that back, and it just
People were getting bombed essentially.
yeah. And then, geez, I'm trying to think what other Killzone and Resistance. They definitely let those games die. Like, both games got banished to handheld, and they never recovered.
Weren't they trying to copy Gears of War or something, essentially?
Killzone, both of them were trying to emulate Halo. Gears, I would think more Uncharted did that, but Uncharted ended up kind of becoming its own thing and mostly successful. And then they just let that one go too. And now Sony is completely canceled The Last of Us 3.
Really?
Yeah, they're remastering the other ones.
Yeah, they're bringing
Oh, good grief.
They're just milking the same thing over and over.
I
But-
know.
But the reason being,
$110, I heard.
oh no, I'm looking at the price right now, and if you want the bundle, it's $100 for both games.
Oh my god.
It's like
Oh,
not.
my-
They just put out,
They're-
right?
they're calling
My
it the-
husband is a-
collectible.
They're calling it The Last of Us
My husband is
Complete,
a massive Last of Us fan,
and it's
so he's gonna
just
be
one
really sad to hear
massive
that.
download, and I'm like, I already got them. I'm good. You guys can go fuck yourselves. So, but my other thing about
Sony.
yeah,
But you would think with the Last of Us TV show doing as well as it is, that they would be wanting to make another one.
it's because Neil Druckmann is a little bitch that couldn't stand the fact that of the criticism he got over the second one because he killed Joel, and that
Oh,
shouldn't have happened. That the other shit that shouldn't have happened was the fact that he let Anita Sarkeesian help him like influence how the story of the game went. That's the reason why Joel died. And then he's even more upset because, and a lot of people don't realize this, but the game Days Gone, he was pissed that Sony was letting that game happen, and it's a similar premise. But I
Yeah.
thought Days Gone was amazing. It's
Yeah.
also on Steam, and
I can attest. I loved Days Gone as a zombie fan.
but
Zombie
My
game
my
fan.
husband loves Days Gone too. Yeah.
but
Thinking
Neil
about revisiting that 'cause
Druckmann
I didn't give it a chance.
Neil
I heard that.
Druckmann threatened Sony that if they gave any more support to them, that they would cancel the third Last of Us. So they withheld the sales numbers, which ended up finally getting revealed that Days Gone sold almost as much as Ghost of Tsushima. So it was a success. So it should have gotten a sequel. That's the reason why they're doing a remaster, because again, Neil Druckmann didn't want the remaster to come out. So now that happened, he just pulled The Last of Us 3 because Sony's like, we're going back on that because people really want this, and that's why the remaster's happening, because now it's going to gauge how much people really want it. Me, I have the disc. I can just get the $10 upgrade for that because
Yeah.
I'm going to play it again. I do enjoy it. I've already bought the game on my Steam Deck, and I'm already halfway through it. It's fun. I totally recommend it for anybody to play because there's a lot of fun stuff in it, a lot of good zombie killing, but it's more than just that. It's a good story behind it too, and the open world's nice. I like the much like the Mad Max game, you can use fuel to keep your motorcycle going, and if you run out of fuel, you're kind of screwed. So, just something to check out. And again, it's just shitty how Sony handles that. I mean, none of these companies are perfect, and not even Valve, and Valve's kind of the one leading the way with all the PC handhelds now.
We ever
Yeah,
going to see
I-
Half-Life 3?
Are we finally getting that?
No, I'm asking. You think we'll ever see it? Because
I heard
Valve
that.
don't need the money. They're making all the money off the store.
I
Why
heard
spend the
that.
money on developing a game, right?
Yeah,
That game
because
is
Valve
also
can't count to
announced about
3,
Grand Theft
I-
Auto 6.
and
Grand Theft Auto 6 is coming out. It's coming out in like October, November, something
yeah,
like that.
with the price point of being
No, this year.
$120 for
get
Grand
delayed.
Theft Auto for the base price.
$100, right?
120.
Grand Theft Auto.
120.
Oh my
120.
god.
The thing is, to run it on PC, you're literally going to need the top of the line of everything to possibly run it on the lowest settings. Awesome. Don't hold me to that.
And you know how day one launches are. They're filled with bugs and issues.
Yep.
Oh, without a doubt.
And
Sometimes that's
server
the most fun.
outages.
I remember
Is
when
the
you
online debuting at launch? I didn't hear that.
No, I didn't.
That I have no idea.
But Don, I do remember when you got Payday and could not run the game.
Oh Jesus,
Oh my god.
That was a disaster.
that was disappointing. We got sponsored by who does that? Deep Silver.
Deep Silver, yeah.
Yeah, they sent us a code. We were all hyped. Crystal Dragon had his on pre-order. We didn't play one. I don't even think we played one game that night.
No, that was such a the second Payday was phenomenal.
And you know
I
what they
still go
did?
back to it every now and again. It's probably
They
working.
blamed Game Pass,
Oh,
just like they did for Outriders. So software as a service is supposed to be the next big thing in gaming, but when it shit hits the fan, you blame it. They're hypocrites sometimes.
mm-hmm.
But
Outriders tried to compete with Remnant, and that two different games.
I liked Outriders. They pulled the plug on that
way too
really
quick.
fast.
I did enjoy it,
Square
but
Enix did
I
it.
did prefer the Remnant games. Like those to me were much more fun. Second was definitely way more refined. A lot more to do too. That broke my heart. I love Payday. Biggest news I haven't heard and want in crossplay for Division 2. Let us all squad up and carve a that would be cool. I wish there was crossplay, but doesn't
I'm
Ubi-
hoping they flip a switch or something. Look, Division 2 is not coming out for another 3 years. At least do the crossplay now. Get everybody together.
Don't you mean 3?
Yeah. Sorry.
About
No, I
saying
want them to
it's
flip the
too
switch on crossplay for 2.
Yeah.
It's excuses.
They should just be able to. I mean, they've already, like, different companies have already proved how well crossplay has been working. It seems like it's a requirement more than anything else right now. I mean, World War Z has it, Back for Blood has it, through some limitations, Borderland has it. I mean, come on, the Power Rangers fighting game has it on every platform. So,
And the
Question
mighty
about that.
Ubisoft can't do it, apparently.
Destiny 2, the light.
Wasn't the Power Ranger game used to be free?
that was the phone version.
Oh, that's why. Okay, that's off
Um,
the grid, and I'm like, I used to play this damn game.
And Ubisoft has its own problems right now. Like I said, they're
Oh shit.
they're dealing with a lot of crap right now. That can be a whole other segment because of what they're dealing with. I mean, you got Assassin's Creed, you got the way they treat the employees, the sexual harassment stuff with the development. There's a whole laundry list of crap that's happening over there.
I'm about to say, quick question for the Division 2. What's the year one pass for?
Year 1 pass.
Yes. 'Cause I'm looking at
Classified
it.
missions, cosmetics, the level 30 boost. If you want to boost this. Most, if you're playing it for the first time, obviously you're not going to boost the character, but
Well, no shit.
you get up to 3 additional character slots if you want to make alts. There's a whole science behind it because you get more resources and stuff. But
Because
yeah,
I'm
that's what
looking
it's
at it.
included.
Because I'm looking at it right here. Let's say Division 2, Warlords of New York, Ultimate Edition for $60. You get Battle Worn, Secret Service. Elite
That goes on
Agent
sale
Pack.
for $15 every other week. So if you're
I'm
interested,
also looking at the standard Division 2 with the Warlords of New York expansion for $3.20.
yeah, they made changes to the game last year. It's called One Endgame, so you don't necessarily need the expansion. But then months later, what they did is they baked the expansion into the game. If you buy it, if you already didn't have it, of course they're gonna make you buy it. They got a nickel and dime you.
Oh, my
But a
God.
new player could buy the $10 version and have the base when it's on sale, and have the base game and the expansion.
Yeah, I mean, I can get the base game expansion for $3.70 right now.
Depending where you get
I'm
it,
looking
you could get it really cheap.
at a 301 bundle.
We were privileged to
Some
be
fact
included
is-
last month. There was an anniversary event on part of the Ubisoft partner program. So we hosted exclusive drops, and part of it was a sale on the Division.
I agree with you, Crystal Dragon.
So that was fun.
I just saw everyone remembers playing Turok, right?
Yes,
Oh yeah.
the new Turok I'm a
looking at
little
Turok
excited for.
bundle on Xbox for $17.99. 1, 2, and 3.
Ooh. I'm stuck because I'm just wanting Mortal Kombat. I want to fight people,
Oh,
and Game Pass only has 11, so it's like years behind.
I mean, I can still throw down with you on 11. I think that's crossplay.
and
Okay. I'd have to reinstall it. Yours on a PS5, right?
Yeah, but it should be crossplay. All right, guys. I gotta get going. Definitely gotta cut it for now, but I think we tackled some stuff.
That was a great conversation tonight, everybody. Knock them.
Yeah.
Thank you
Absolutely.
for inviting me.
Don, anytime, and like I said, we have an
Hey, what's
Ubisoft.
up, Bird?
We can
Welcome.
definitely have an Ubisoft conversation. Hey, Bird, you showed up just in time for me to end it.
I know, we're about to raid out, bud.
But Logan, thank you for your
Yeah.
opinions and stuff. I actually appreciated hearing what you had to say about all that stuff, man. Of course,
Yeah,
Jason,
thanks for having me.
being our PC biased opinion.
Of course.
Like, I feel like I land more on the console side of things, you know, specifically my PlayStation, but you know, I'm glad that didn't come up too much.
I've adopted a,
Oh,
a
Definitely an
multi-platform
Xbox fanboy.
Yeah.
I don't
approach.
how people can consider.
No,
PC
I'm
a console.
PC. Definitely PC.
PC isn't a console, Terry. Don't worry.
People can shut the fuck up about calling it a master race for a console.
It is a matter. It's a matter race.
But you guys were awesome. This was really awesome. I appreciate everybody that showed up. And obviously we're gonna be doing this again. Like I said, once a month. It might get bumped. Like if my schedule change works out, to where I'll be front half, then maybe it'll be more a bi-week. We'll flip it back to a bi-weekly thing.
Oh, I
That
look
way
forward
we
to
can
being
get
able to
together a
be
lot
back.
sooner. Definitely talk about a lot of the stuff we want to talk about. So
All right.
Hey,
Everybody, thank you all for everybody who's here. We had some amazing people here. We had some amazing stars. This is episode 3 concluding of Mindless Entertainment. Again, we are available on Spotify as well. Please give us a like and follow and give us a good listen. Thank you all for coming by.
thank you all. We'll be
Thank you
rating
all.
out
See you guys.
to my buddy George Cadman. If anyone wants to stick around and get ready to follow
Hey,
my buddy,
knock them.
yes,
One request.
sure.
Oh, Bird,
This
absolutely.
time, can we shout out everybody who streams that was on the panel to make sure we're all connected?
Sure.
I think I do follow everybody just to be safe.
Let me
please do
do
that.
my quick shout outs for
Oh,
every-
that'd be cool. Yeah.
I don't stream, unfortunately. I don't have the. Well, I think I have a computer to do it. But unfortunately,
Mindless
I'm
Mike.
I'm a moron that really doesn't know what the fuck I'm doing.
I have a channel, but I have yet to do my inaugural stream. Hopefully that'll be happening soon.
Hold on, what the fuck is my Twitch name anyway? I don't.
I'll be helping you figure that out. And I guess it's my turn. Anybody knows I'm Mindless Mike. I stream on Twitch. I just do mindlessness all the time.
Oh.
And
Alright.
if you'd like to follow me and get in on the ground floor, as it were, my username is Lady Guinevere.
Fuck.
All
How you
right.
spell the-
In case you didn't know,
How you spell the rest of that,
Don
Gwen?
Paul Leon. Oh, go ahead, knock them. I'm sorry.
No, I just
Yep, I just gave you a follow, Don.
Okay, good. I should be able to see you now.
sweet.
In case I didn't mention it earlier, Don Paulione from the streets in New York City. The accent is 100% real.
Thank you, Bird.
Community game streamer, Nintendo fanboy of 40 plus years, coming this December. And it was quite an honor to meet everybody today who I haven't met before. Nintendo, do better. Let's get this pre-order chaos settled, and let's look forward to Switch 2. Thank you, everybody, for your time.
Awesome. All right, guys. Once again, we will be raiding out into George Cadman. He actually just made his triumphant return back to Twitch. He's currently playing Repo. Who isn't playing Repo?
I'm not.
Yeah,
We
you're
haven't
you're
played-
you're currently
played
being a
yet.
drug lord
We
right
haven't
now.
played Repo in a while.
Yeah,
Repo
yeah.
is really
I'm being a drug lord right now.
yeah, I've been seeing that you playing that game. Yeah.
Take care, everybody.
Well.
Alright, thank you.
Bye.